This is the Stick and Hack Show. Conversation, discussion, debate, and golf talk from a stick, Mike Ryan, and the hack, Adam Grubb. Boys, you are up.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in to the Stick and Hack Show. I'm the resident hack, Adam Grubb, and that is the stick, Mike Ryan. Mike, happy weekend. How are you?
Yo.
All right, so right off the bat here, right off the show, we're going to go member feedback of the program. So So get ready, okay? So I'm going to read the feedback.
Okay.
And this is our 8th episode, I believe, of the Stick and Hack Show, and they've had 7 to really fully understand what we're doing here on the greatest golf club in the world without the course. Comment 1, Adam is amazing, and then comment 2, Mike, okay. That's the first comments. How do you feel about that?
Erroneous.
Okay, and then
Completely erroneous.
The second comment is Adam is incredible. Mike needs to talk more.
I'm not here for their amusement.
Oh, you are.
Oh, wait, I am.
You actually are. You actually are.
All right.
And then
I'll try to do that, but
and then
I don't think so.
Third comment is who's Mike?
Hurtful. That's just hurtful.
All right, Stick and Hack Show. Just joking, Mike. Obviously, everybody loves you. They find you completely good enough.
I have a boyish charm.
You do indeed. But you know what you lack in maybe the show, when people don't like you on the show, they really don't like you on the golf course because you beat them every single time and take their cash.
Sometimes.
Is that about right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well.
So there's a lot to get to on this show. A lot has happened, even though nothing is really happening in golf, which we're going to talk about in a second, which is bothering me. There was an incredible story from the lPGA. We're going to talk about Tiger Woods. We've never really had a show where we've talked about Tiger in a sense. So this is basically Stick and Hack potpourri. And then we have the handicap situation for 2020. So every year now, things seem to be changing in this drastic way in golf. Last year we had 87 rule changes, and how you've been playing golf for 30 years changed pretty much overnight with the new rule changes. There's even more confusion coming in 2020 from the PGA, or the USGA, which I will talk to you about here in just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so we're in membership drive right now on stickandhack.com. We are the world's greatest and largest golf club in the world without the course. And our membership is growing day by day, as well as our ambassadors around the world are starting to take notice of Stick and Hack, and they're actually referring members. If you refer the most members to Stick and Hack membership in the month of October, you win a TaylorMade Spider X putter. Have you ever played with a Spider X putter from TaylorMade?
I have not, but well, I shouldn't say that. I've tried them out. For my putting stroke, they don't work real well for me. Because I have more of like an arcing putting stroke. Right. It's not like a straight back and forth, which that's what those are designed for. So.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So for the hacks out there though, pretty much any free putter is going to do just fine.
I've seen a lot of people that love them.
Right.
I know a lot of people that love it. They think it's the greatest putter they've ever had.
Well, a lot of tour players play on it.
They do.
Yeah.
They
so
do.
TaylorMade Spider X putter is up for grabs. So go to stickandhack.com for membership and refer your friends. There's a couple people that we know that can't even get their own wives to join, and they want to be global ambassadors of the Stick and Hack Show. So I don't quite know what that is.
We've had this discussion with them. They just don't seem to get it.
We do have a leader in the clubhouse though. His name is Mark, and he's just absolutely killing it. So that's the person to beat. All right. So in the lPGA this past weekend, there was a major rule violation.
Yeah.
Almost maybe Guinness Book World Record. Wouldn't you say that as far as the penalty is concerned?
It's got to be close.
So we had
if it isn't.
We had pro golfer Leanne Walker from the lPGA. This is the senior tour.
Yeah.
And she was playing at French Lick in Indiana at the course down there at one of their tournaments. And she had to add 58 penalty strokes to her score at the end of her round. I'm sorry, at the end of the weekend. She played 2 rounds. They
didn't realize it until like halfway through her second round.
Oh, I think they did. I think they did. Hey, anybody watching that over there? Let's not tell her.
That's part of this that I am a little baffled by.
All right, so here's what happened, okay? So it was a rules mess up is what they're calling it. And she did break a rule, but it was a rule she wasn't aware of because she hadn't played in a long time and in the tour. And
Which is
so
a very hacky response. I haven't played in...
I haven't played.
You're a professional. Get it together.
Yeah, I had no idea. that even happened. But that was her response. Like, hey, I haven't played. I had no idea this was even a rule.
Yeah.
The rule is, and I don't know the actual rule. You probably know it better than I do. But the caddy can't stand behind you in your putting stroke so they can stand behind you to help line you up. But then they have to move before you get into position to putt. Is that correct?
It's not just putting. Any stroke.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you're lining up to hit a wedge shot, they can't be behind you while you're lining up.
Okay. So they can say, can they, and this is it might be a heck rule question in the end of the show, but I'll just do it now because I can do whatever I want. The caddy can line you up. They can help you with your read.
They can help you with your read, but they cannot.
Can they say, hey, you're like, if they stand behind you,
they can't be behind you. That's
basically what it's saying, right?
It's basically saying like they can't get behind you and go, yep, you're up, you're lined up. You're where you're supposed to be aimed.
But until this year, that could happen?
Yeah.
Okay. So then they changed that.
Yeah.
And now the caddy can't, in any shot, cannot be directly behind the player.
Correct.
As they approach their ball and get ready to, or as they take their stance. They can be there when they approach the ball, but as soon as they get in their stance, they have to move.
Correct.
This caddy did not move, and Leanne Walker did not tell the caddy
clearly
to move.
Was helping her get lined up then.
Right.
I mean, if they called it, then it was clearly that's what was happening.
So she played, I guess, 16 holes or 18 holes on Saturday and up to 16 holes on Sunday, and nobody told her.
Yeah.
And then on the 16th hole of the second round, one of the officials came up and said, hey, by the way, don't know what's happening here, but you now owe us 58 penalty strokes.
Yeah.
And so she ended up shooting an 85 and a 74th senior LPGA championship.
Yeah. That was before the penalties.
It was before the penalties?
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
After the penalties, the first day, she shot 127. And I think the second day, it was like 90.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That makes the story better.
It was.
I had no idea.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
That is torturous.
Rough. It was rough.
My God. So,
but, I mean, it's one of those things that, I mean, from her perspective, she's just got to be like, well, just embrace it at that point. It's like, whatever. I mean, okay.
I don't think, I think that is the worst response, which is, I haven't played in a long time, but it's also.
I just don't know how no one before that was like,
so that's
hey,
the question.
Just FYI, you can't do that anymore.
That's the question.
At least
whose fault is this? Whose fault is this?
Ultimately, it's her fault, but I just can't imagine, like, if I were playing with someone in a competitive round like that and I did see them doing something egregiously that was like, we know it's a new rule, I'd be like, hey, I don't know if you realized it, but you can't do that now.
Right.
That for me, I personally would say that. Now, I wasn't there. I mean, there may be.
She played 54 holes that way.
There could have been. I don't know.
No,
I just don't know how you don't.
Not right. How many holes did she play?
52.
What's 18?
If she was done through 16, she was 52. Okay. I think.
That's math I can't even do.
Or maybe. I don't
Doesn't
know.
matter.
Whatever.
She played a bunch of holes.
Yeah, she played. Well, no, it would have been like. No, it was 2 rounds. It would have been 34 holes.
God, guys, I don't know if you're still
18 times 2 is 36.
If you're still sticking into this right now, we apologize.
It's the basic math show with Mike and Adam.
I can't even do, honest to God, when I hit one out of bounds, which is often, it takes me 6 to 8 minutes to just kind of
realize what you're hitting next,
what I'm laying, and what will happen if I do these things. Yes. As I think, if I get it up on the green and 2-putt, then I'll have then you do, and then I'm out, and then I'm in one. Can't do it. I can't do it. So
that should be actually helpful to you.
It is.
Because then you're not thinking about
I have no idea.
Yeah, just play. No idea. Just go play.
And then I asked
and then just add 2.
Yeah.
That's it.
I know. I know in theory that's the way it's supposed to be. But somebody, whoever I'm playing with, I'll be like, oh, what are you hitting? I'm like, I don't know. A Blada? I don't know. Strixon? What the hell are you asking me? No, what shot are you on? I don't know, Chief.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I hit it out of bounds. Are we going to just replay the whole thing? I suck. Thank you.
I mean, the minute you've hit, at least if I were playing with you, the minute you hit out of bounds, I've already written you off. So it's well, it's he's not playing this hole.
One down.
Yep.
All right. So it's her fault. Ultimately, she broke a rule, and in the game of golf, the golfer, it's an individual sport. They're the ones responsible for it. But you have the LPGA. You have USGA. This is a championship. This is a tournament. Shouldn't somebody have taken her aside? They did, but it was too late. And so
in theory, it's no one's responsibility other than hers. But
that's dumb. Why are all those other people there? Why are the marshals there?
I know. Me personally, I don't know how they wouldn't have caught, how they didn't catch that prior. And the other thing I don't get, and I'd have to do some research on this and probably talk to somebody from the USGA, but like I would have thought if she completed a round of golf, right? Now I know they can go back and assess penalties later or whatever, but honestly, I would have thought it would have been like a DQ and not like strokes, because at that point you're signing for a card that's incorrect.
Right.
And in theory, if you sign for an incorrect score, you're disqualified.
Yeah. That's a good point. They didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
Maybe at that point they're like, yeah, she's basically DQ'd anyway because she shot 120.
Yeah. I mean, she's out of it at this point for all intents and purposes. So, it's probably one of those, it's like it doesn't really matter, but I mean, I know how strict they can be. Obviously, they assessed a 58 stroke penalty, so that's pretty to the rule, in my opinion.
I can't imagine that kind of 58 penalty strokes. Hey, great round. Good news, add 30. What? Why? What happened? Well, you cheated. I mean, did they call that cheating, or they just call breaking a rule? I mean, she's not in trouble.
No, she didn't intentionally do it. That's the thing. And maybe that's why they didn't disqualify her, is she didn't intentionally do anything. Right. Well, I don't know.
Leanne Walker, we hope that you come back and play again. I don't know if I could. I might just shut the whole thing down.
Nah, I'd be fine with it. I would just embrace it at that point and just chalk it up to one of those things in life.
Idiocy.
Yeah, where you're just like, well.
All right. Are there too many PGA events right now in the year? And why doesn't golf have a time off? I think it's bad for the game.
Yeah.
Kind of like NASCAR.
I think I agree. I mean, I think there's too many. I think they need to have, personally, I wish they had a little bit of an off season.
Like a legitimate,
we're not playing any tournaments. But I mean, ultimately it's driven by, that's the thing, is if you think about, I believe a lot of these off-season events aren't actually like PGA Tour events. They're just like, they're random events. And you know, like we've talked about before, professional golfers are independent contractors, so they can go do whatever they want. Right. So if they want to go play, they can. Now, me personally, I just think it's better for golf if you have a little bit of a lull, because I think you have that buildup coming into, it's like any other sport. Like you look at football or
even the
basketball,
NBA.
And even the NBA, you have a preseason, and there's this kind of like, you've got that lull, and it's this like kind of build up to, it's a more of a build up. It feels like it's just kind of like there's no real build up to the beginning of the PGA Tour season anymore, because there's so many other events going on.
And there's the World Golf Challenges, there's the Tiger events, there's the what's called a wraparound season. Yeah. There literally though is no week off of golf, and I think it hurts the TV. I think it hurts the thoughts around the sport. NASCAR, NASCAR goes February to November. And by October, nobody cares, because as soon as football starts, like it or hate it,
well,
as soon as football starts, everything else should stop.
I mean, ultimately, it's all driven by money, and it's any of those. They're trying to squeeze every last dollar they can out of that behemoth, right?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you just have to accept something for what it is. If it's great, if it's a good thing, just let it be what it is. Let it be good, instead of trying to continually, like, sometimes it just is what it is, that like this is the greatest it's ever going to be. Just let it be that. And it's better off, I think, long term, because you kind of, there are things about, you know, football and basketball and any other sport that are great about it. And if you just let it be what it is, instead of trying to, you know, squeeze that last bit of juice out of the fruit. And specifically, like you look at like the NFL right now, they're talking about adding a 17th game, and it's like, are you really doing what's best for the game when you're just trying to, like, because those guys, NFL football players, go through such a physical grind through a season that adding another game in addition to all the preseason games that they have, to me, it seems counterintuitive.
Well, there's almost not a night anymore that there isn't football on in this, and so that is the same thing. That lead up to Sunday used to be so awesome. You had the Sunday football and you had your Monday football, right? That was it. That was all. Now we're playing in London. We've got games that are on the middle of the week. We've got, I think they got a matinee game on 1:00 on a Tuesday. Yep. It's insanity. And I was just talking to my wife about this very thing this morning. She said, "What?" Because I guess there's an NFL game today. So we're taping this on Saturday. Just so you know, this comes out on Tuesday. We don't do it live, people. Yeah. Okay, we tape this days in advance. Yeah. So a little secret, a little behind the scenes there. It's Saturday morning. Yeah. And there's football today, NFL football. Yeah. On top of college football. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. What is this? What were we talking about? Golf.
Right. Oh, sorry. Is that what this is? Sorry. Is that what we're doing? Yeah, we kind of got off. No, but it's good.
Stephen
it's
A.
all,
Smith came in here all of a sudden.
It's all. It's all relevant. It's like
it's the same thing though.
It's the same idea. It's like, at what point do you just accept something from what it is and just let it be? And it in my opinion, if you do that, I think the dollars come anyway.
Well, there's less chance to watch golf.
And it may not be in the same. It just may not be in the same forum.
You should have 20 weekends, maybe 25 events and tournaments and the majors, and you compact them all from April, just like a regular golf season in the Midwest or in the North, right? From April until September, that's your core golf month. And that's 6 months or so, just like hockey 6 months, NBA 6 months. NASCAR and golf are the only things that seemingly go year round.
Yeah, especially in the, I think about myself just as a golf fan. In the wintertime, we live up in the north, and it's in the wintertime. If there's professional golf on, I'm actually kind of angry about it.
Good for you. You get a little
I'm like,
suntan.
Great, guy.
85 degrees in the Bahamas.
I've got a foot of snow outside, and all I have to do is just sit here and watch you.
Right, and practice putting into a
paradise.
Yeah,
and just wishing I was there.
It's too much. Yeah, and it doesn't bring anything to the casual fan, because the casual fan doesn't care about the Honda Classic in wherever the hell it is. Yeah. All right, let's talk about the GOAT. This is the conversation. Now, every golf show in America, every sports show in America has covered Tiger ad nauseum over the last 25 years. There's nothing groundbreaking and earth-shattering we're going to uncover today. This is just basically from a casual fan, a great golfer, a stick and a hack, where Tiger is today in golf. And more specifically, his next step, which is to write a book. So he's writing a book called Back. And this is his memoir. This is his voice, his tone. In fact, this is what he said about it. He said, "I've been in the spotlight for a long time, and because of that, there have been books and articles and TV shows about me, most filled with errors, speculative, and wrong," is what he said. "This book is my definitive story. It's in my words and expresses my thoughts. It describes how I feel and what's happened in my life. I've been working at it steadily, and I'm looking forward to continuing the process and creating a book that people will want to read." Well, everyone's going to want to read that. Not everyone. Tiger haters won't read it. They might read it just to hate it. But he doesn't have to promote this book. We've been waiting for something like this for a long, long time, probably since 2011 or 12, when he really started to come back and try to make some headway with his personal life and his game itself. What are your thoughts about this, and is this as important as I think it is today?
I think it's going to be very interesting, specifically, at least for me. I'm going to be interested to see how much he opens up about his personal life and some of the things that led to his decline in play for those years. He's been through a lot personally. Obviously, it's been very public, and I'll be most interested to see how much he opens up about that type of stuff.
I would say not much.
I think it'll be more than you think. I think he'll open up a little more, especially in a book like this. If it's what he's really wanting to get at, I think, especially when you look at that quote and he talks about errors and speculation and people reporting wrong things about him, I think that's where he's really gonna. I think there'll be more about that than you think.
He should have just said Hank Haney. right there. That's all he should have said. Hank wrote a book and lied about a bunch of things. Did you read Hank? That's right. I forgot for a second. You don't read.
I don't read books.
Hank Haney had a book out about Tiger that was unbelievable. I mean, it was shocking when you read it. It was talking about really his decline and what happened to his body was all because of his selfishness and wanting to become a Navy SEAL. And he went through Navy SEAL training. And you hear all these stories, right? So it would be interesting if Tiger came out and be like, hey, that's all BS. I went and I toured the Navy SEALs and I had some friends that were there and I did some workouts with them.
He did some training. Yeah, I think it is a fact that he did some training with some Navy SEALs, but I think that whole he was going to quit golf and become a Navy SEAL was never going to happen. Right.
There's been a lot said about him, but I think if he focuses on the three things that people want to know most, and unfortunately in today's society, the first thing they want to know about is what you said, his personal life. How did he get through that? Not what happened. We all know what happened.
Yeah.
How did he get through that? What was his life like after? And was golf his only resort to get himself back mentally? And if he didn't have golf, where would he be? That's what people want to know. And they want to hear him apologize. They probably want to hear him open that up.
Well,
I don't really care.
Well, another thing I think you'll hear from him about is just I think it'll be a little bit about his relationship with golf, like kind of you just talked about, but also through, and I've heard him talk about this before in interviews, is his relationship with his kids and their view of golf. I know he's publicly stated that, for his kids, they kind of viewed golf as this thing that made daddy, hurt and was not having a good time and wasn't enjoying himself. And they never saw the joy he got out of it when he was playing well through his prime, through his playing prime.
Right.
And I think that'll be another interesting dynamic of that book, is to him kind of talk about and when he won the Masters this year and being able to have his kids see him now that they're of an age where they understand what's going on.
Yeah, and that's what I hope happens. I hope that he does turn all the stuff into a positive, and just his relationship with the kids and all that. But I guess why now? Is this this is the new Tiger? Everyone, Dan Hicks and all these guys, every time that he does something, like when Kevin Na hit that putt and he reached it, he raced after it and reached it, and then Tiger did the same thing.
Yeah.
Tiger never would have done that 10 years ago, 20 years ago, never in his life. He would have thought that was stupid and it was against the game. Today he has a lot more fun on the course.
Yeah. And
because of that, I think he's now kind of opened up and said, okay, I'm in my 40s now. I am on the tail end of my career. I can't hold on to anymore, even though he just won the Masters. And as soon as Tiger wins anything, he's going to win out for the rest of his career, right? That's what people think. I mean, the odds for the U.S. Open right after the Masters were 2-1 that he wins, and I don't even know if he made the cut. I have no idea.
Unrealistic,
right? So I guess why now? Is this the new Tiger? And what does 2020 look like for him as he continues to kind of open up his life? A very private person for so many years.
Yeah.
As he continues to kind of unpeel this onion and open up his life, does that help his game? Or now does he become and forgive me, Phil, but does he become a Phil Mickelson where people are there to see him, but he's not really ever in contention?
Well, I think Phil would be, might have something to say to that. He's been competitive.
Okay.
I mean, he hasn't won any majors lately,
Right.
but I mean, he's still competitive. But on the Tiger topic, I think now is talking about earlier, some of the things he's had. I think he's had a lot of time to do some introspection, at least through this whole thing. When he was coming back and trying to play better and still be competitive. I think, like you said, he's not taking it so serious now, and I think he's gotten to a point where he feels like he can open up about those things, and I think he's probably in a better position just personally to be able to open up about it. And I think he's accepted who he is now.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the big things, and I think that's why he was able to win this last year.
There was a book last year, and I can't remember who wrote it. It was about Tiger and his childhood, especially in college at Stanford. I mean, his dad. There's just some really crazy stories about the control that the people around him had on him. Even though he always looked like he was in control of his own career, it was really based on other people. I would be very fascinated to hear some of those things. Is that true? Did his parents really? So he had a girlfriend. This is what was in this book. He had a girlfriend at Stanford who she lived in Texas, and she flew up to see him play in a tournament. He had a bad first round. They flew her home.
Yeah.
Never saw her again.
Right.
Out.
Yeah.
Now, there were a few girlfriends in my past I wish that would have happened to. I wish my parents would have taken that same path. But unfortunately, they let me make my own failures.
Yeah.
But that's the type of story where I hope it's not just about what other people said about him in the negative light. I hope he does clarify and clear up. Hey, yeah, that sucked. That was a bad deal. Yeah. I had no control over. The only time I was ever in control was on the course. Everything else around me, I've never had control of. And I know that this golf TV thing that he's involved in, talking about his game and this video series that Stick and Hack got passed up on, and they went with Golf TV, which is frustrating. But that he's a little bit more open with his game and kind of letting his secrets out. And there's some good moments there of him, and I hope that this book is enjoyable to read. And I'll read it to you, obviously, because you don't read books. So I'll read it to you.
Then I'll really fall asleep.
I'll read it to you. But I think that this is a good time for him to do this, and I think it's going to be a huge seller.
Yeah, and I think it's really going to be this year. If you look at what's in store for him for 2020, I think you could see him win one more time. I think he could win a tournament again. I do.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of will his body let him, and right. I think that's what it comes down to for him now. And he said that is, I am not going to be physically able to win every week on tour.
Yeah, because
my body is just not in a position to be able to do that. But when it's good, I still can win. So I think it's one of those. It's one of those. If he gets healthy on the right week and is able to and has his game together, I think he can win.
I don't know. There's just something about him winning and something about him being on top that is maybe it's nostalgic for people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that have watched that. It was kind of like when Jack won in 84, 86. I don't know what he won, the Masters.
The Masters.
Yeah. I got there.
Probably the greatest win in tour history.
Okay, there's your topic. Is that the greatest win? Jack winning the Masters or Tiger winning the Masters?
At his age, yeah, I think so.
What was Jack? 46.
46.
Yeah. See, look how many facts I know. Look how many facts I know without even looking them up.
Yeah.
I'm no hack, baby.
Yeah, he was 46.
Yeah.
I mean, Tiger's what, 40, 41?
42.
42.
Yeah.
I mean, if he wins at 46 or 47, that will be the greatest of all time. But
Jack didn't have health problems.
I know, but I just
the story. But that's what I'm saying.
The story is definitely better for Tiger from a comeback perspective. I agree, but I think just from a physical, just being able to win a tournament like that at that age is still greatest wins.
Here's an interesting question, and I'll use the term "interesting" loosely. Are you an old soul when it comes to golf? Meaning, do you pine and wish for the days of?
No.
Okay, you like the new up and comers. You like what's happening now.
Yeah, I do.
You don't wish for the old days of golf.
No, not at all. I don't think you can. I know a lot of people that are that way, but I'm more interested in seeing people realize their dreams than looking back on things that have already happened. I think that's just a cool thing to see. That's
interesting. I thought you would have been the other way. I thought you would have. Because you're a purist.
I love looking back on those things, but it's not something that I'm like, because that's the thing. I've been in many arguments with people about, is Tiger the GOAT or is Jack the GOAT or whatever.
Tiger.
I personally feel Tiger is, mainly because of what he did for the game of golf.
Right.
He just totally changed the landscape of golf from the perspective of the amount of money that's involved, the amount of success. The number of people that have had success in golf due to him. Right. I mean, it's because he was who he was that there is the amount of money in golf today.
Yep.
Period.
All right. So his book is called Back, and it's coming out probably next year, I would assume. Probably, if I had to guess, HarperCollins, their publisher, whoever the hell's publishing it, has said, hey, why don't we put this out right before the Masters?
Yeah.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
Imagine the fever that will happen. So my money is on that this book will be out right before the Masters, and I'll have back, and it'll be the cover shot will be him with his arms up like he was after he won.
That, or I think it'll be him hugging his son.
Oh, look at you!
I think it'll be that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to put money on it?
Sure.
$4,000.
No.
$1.
$1. Okay. In.
Good.
Dollar in. All
and
right.
it's on tape and recorded for posterity, so
right.
there's no way we can get out of it. You
That's
owe me
right.
$1. What if it's not neither one of those? I guess it's just no money exchange.
It's a push. It's called a push.
That's how that works. Oh, no.
It's called a push, Adam.
I've done it again, haven't I? All right, so the handicap situation. Let's move into the clubhouse. New for 2020. So I talked about this at the top of the show. Every year, something new is happening in golf. This past year, we had major rule changes, anarchy in the so much so where most clubs are putting the new rules on the carts and saying like, "Hey guys, make sure you know caddies can't stand behind you." Unfortunately, our girl Leanne Walker, that's her name, Leanne Walker.
Yeah,
never came to our club to see those rules.
Yeah.
So the new thing for 2020 is the handicap situation.
Yep.
So the handicaps are changing, and they're saying for the betterment of the game, but also for ease of use when it comes to handicap situations. So for those of you listening to the show that don't have a handicap, it's easier than ever. There's supposed to be easier than ever to achieve a handicap. Number one. Number two, it's global, because I guess there's been 6 different versions of this handicap system, depending on where you live in the world. Now it's a global handicap system. I'm hitting the highlights here. The third is that it doesn't take as many rounds to get a handicap.
Yep.
And the fourth is that they now have new maximum indexes, so that for those of you that are just starting the game, your handicap is so high that you can't even register it. Which there's a couple people here that I think that could hit. At that point, then they said, hey, we're gonna increase the handicap number so that everyone can have it. The handicap is specifically designed to make play fair, but also for you to have a sense of where you stand in the game of golf.
Yeah.
All right, so let's walk through the changes. The current system computes your 10 best scores from your 20 most recent rounds. Under the new system, it looks like we are doing what? Just the top 8?
Top 8, yeah.
Okay, so your top 8 rounds. So if you've top 8 rounds out of 10, right? Is that what that means?
No. Out of however many you've posted.
Okay, so just the last top 8.
Top 8.
And the top 8 means your best 8 scores.
8 scores, yeah.
Because the handicap, and here's something I just learned. Now, you're going to make fun of me, and I don't really care. Okay? My feelings aren't going to be hurt by you and your stickness, okay? I just realized that the handicap is not your average of what you typically shoot. Your handicap is what you could shoot, your potential to shoot on any given day.
Correct.
I just realized that.
Okay.
That's
fine.
It's starting to boil up. It's starting to boil up,
hey,
isn't it?
It's fine. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
It's starting to boil up. I think most people would be surprised to know that and that listen to this show. That there is the handicap is not.
I'll be the first to admit the handicap system isn't the easiest thing to grasp.
Right. No, it's insanity, and it's getting worse. It's getting worse now because of these changes. I promise you. Because let me just read.
Well, the last point I think is a little confusing.
Yeah,
but it's clearly confusing for you based on the conversation we had prior to the show,
right?
Which I'm gonna bring up here in a second.
Good for you.
Yep.
So is there anything better that you look for? Anything more you look forward to every 2 weeks than to come in here and just make me look like a stone cold moron? Because I do that on my own.
It's fun.
Just fine.
It's fun.
I don't need the assist.
It's exciting.
I don't need you carrying the
It's
moron.
what I get up for.
Well, we appreciate that. All right, so you now only have to play 3 rounds or 6 9-hole rounds to create a handicap index. So in the past, you had to get 5 or 10 rounds in before you could even, and that was what my wife was like. There's no way I can even do that. I'm not. I need a handicap to play in this couples championship or whatever the hell it was. Yeah. She's like, I have no time. I can't. There's no way I can do that. I'm like, well, I guess we're out. You know, we'll save $150. Perfect. But now she can play 3 rounds, right, or 6 9 holes, and now she has a handicap. So that part I like a lot.
Yes, I agree with that. I think it's good. It just makes it a little easier to establish one. I think you want to remove as many barriers as possible to people actually trying to have a handicap.
Right. All right. And now the new maximum index is 54 instead of what was 36.4 for men and 40.4 for women. So this is basically for the beginner saying, hey guys, this will help you. So 54. So what would that? Well, that's Leanne Stump's.
Depends on the course.
Leanne Walker's.
Depends
score.
on the course, like how high that's going to end up going. I mean, if you've got a really high slope and rating, you could get up to. I would assume like 60 some shots a round.
God,
which is mind blowing to me. But
I can't even imagine what that's like to be near.
Ooh. Yeah.
What'd you take on that? 10. Oh,
yep.
Good.
Yeah. I think some of that could be. I like it and I don't like it at the same time because that's a lot of shots.
It is, and I mean, at that point though, I mean, any beginner. They're not counting every stroke. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
They're not doing,
That's
a
true.
beginner's not, I mean, some guys that have been playing, gals have been playing for 40 years don't count all their strokes, i.e. Leanne Walker. Sorry, Leanne, I'm going bad on you. I don't know why.
This is not,
I don't know why.
This is not her. Lay off her. It's fine. She's moved on. Why can't you?
I don't know. It's funny. Funny to me. It just makes me laugh. So that's the new rule. So you only need three rounds. You have the maximum index now at 54. Now here's where it gets a little dicey. Okay, this is John Nash territory here. If you post 6 scores in the 100s, when you're normally an 80s shooter, you're gonna run into what's called the soft cap. So if your handicap decreases and gets worse,
no.
What do you mean no?
Wrong. Increases. If your handicap gets worse,
right,
it's increasing.
Okay. What did I say?
You said decreases.
Right. The number decreases.
No, it doesn't. If your handicap's getting worse, it's getting higher.
Okay. It's decreasing in the numeric value.
No, it's going up.
Right. But if you have a 1, if you have a 1,
incredible.
If you have a 1,
I cannot believe we're having this conversation.
Couldn't agree more. If you have a 1 on the board, put a 1 at the very top of the wall. Okay?
Yep.
Now, if you increase, you're going to negative.
No.
Yes, you are.
-1 is less than 1.
I agree with that. That you and I agree on. But you're increasing.
No, you're not.
Right,
it's going up.
Okay. What is the rule? If you post 6 scores, so I just have to change a word? That's what you're saying? This is what this whole argument's about?
Yes.
This is you yelling
Your
at me?
handicap is going up.
You yelling at me is about me just changing a mistake I made.
No, you didn't make
Have you
it.
ever made a
It's
mistake?
not a mistake. It's not. This is not a typo. This is literally a philosophical point.
All right, fine. So, as I was saying,
yes,
if you post 6 scores in the 100, so this is basically saying, hey, if you get the shanks and things go bad for you, and you're typically in the 80s or high 80s golfer, and now all of a sudden you're high 90s and into maybe 101 because you can't get the ball airborne, we're not going to penalize you as much. Your handicap is not going to go up or go down, whichever way you look at it. It's not going to change as drastically as it probably should anymore because we put a soft cap on it, which is basically saying, hey, you suck right now. We get it. You're a mental head case.
No, it's trying to, you know what it's trying to do?
No.
It's trying to reduce sandbagging. That's exactly what it's doing. They don't want people to be able to go out and say, okay, you have a guy that goes out and shoots.
So why don't they just say that? The soft cap. Soft cap is what your baby has when they're born.
They're never going to come out and just say that. They think sandbagging doesn't exist in their world. Like that's not a real thing. Like people don't cheat.
All right,
people don't lie.
All right, so good. So they have. So now it is not going to go. So
it's not going to allow. It's not going to allow
if your
you
handicap
to have your handicap go up as drastically.
If your handicap increases, gets worse.
Yes.
By 3 points in a 12-month span. The rest of the time, it'll only be increasing at 50%.
Yes, of what it normally would. Okay, if you're in that range, if you've had so many rounds that are way above what your normal number is.
All right. So and if you were watching this and not listening, if you're watching on YouTube, you saw the light bulb hit me when you said it's to reduce it because I didn't even see that. I thought they were just being nice.
No, it's to to combat to combat sandbagging.
Right. Well, that's a topic we've talked about multiple times here. All right, good. All right,
which is why I like it. I actually like that rule.
So the handicap new rules for 2020, you can find them by Googling that, I guess, or you can find them on stickandhack.com.
On USGA's website.
No, take them to stickandhack.com, which we will then immediately link to.
Or they can go to us and then link to there.
Right.
That's
we'll immediately link to USGA. So it's 3 more steps.
Sure.
To get to the information.
Yes. We're all about making things easier for you here at Stick and Hack. As long as we're involved.
Right. As long as we are at the beginning stage of making it easier for you. All right, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed the program. Stickandhack.com. Stories, articles, behind the scenes, as well as the Stick and Hack show. You can catch up if you are 8 weeks behind. You can hear more of this nonsense. And become a member today of the greatest golf club in the free world without the course. We got a couple of new things. The corner office, which is the fusion of business and golf. The lessons you learn on the golf course, how you can take them into your office. And Dr. Chelsea Day is going to be writing a column for us in November about the mental side of golf. She was a guest a while ago, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, exciting. Very exciting.
All right, stickandhack.com, become a member today. Thanks so much. Enjoy your week, everybody. Mike, have a great day. See ya.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.
The Stick and Hack Show is now over. Subscribe, rate, comment, and tell your friends. You are now free to go about your day.